have come to fulfill the law. Jesus came to fulfill the law and the prophets. That's a fact. Matthew 5:17, huwag ninyong akalaing naparito ako upang ipawalang bisa ang kautusan at ang mga propeta. Naparito ako hindi upang ipawalang bisa ang mga iyon, kundi upang tuparin. So, tutuparin daw. Hindi daw papawalang bisa, sabi ni Jesus. At yan ang pinangahawakan ng napakarami pag inigiit nila ang very literal imposition of the Jewish law. But, though Jesus said that He came to implement and to fulfill the law, Jesus also came to destroy and to end the law, to set people free from the law. Ephesians 2:14-15, Christ gave His own body to destroy the law of Moses with all its rules and commands. Sabi ng Contemporary English Version yan. At sabi naman ng easy-to-read version, by giving His own body, Christ ended the law with its many commands and rules. At ang isang Tagalog version, sa pamamagitan ng kanyang katawan, pinawalang bisa niya ang kautusan kasama ang mga utos at mga alituntunin nito. So alin talaga? Did Jesus come to fulfill the law? Or did Jesus come to destroy the law and to void it and to make it already an expired institution? O pareho ba tama ang mga statements na ito na puro galing naman sa Bible? Romans 8:2, because through Christ Jesus, the law of the Spirit has set you free from the law of sin and death. So the Spirit has set us free from the law of sin and death, or the law that makes us sinful and the law that causes us to be judged with death. Jesus fulfilled the law, but not in the same way Israel's religious system fulfilled it. Dapat malinaw yan. Nung sinabi ni Jesus na I came to fulfill the law, hindi ibig sabihin that He will fulfill the law the same way that ancient Israel had been fulfilling the law according to their tradition, according to their interpretation and application. Jesus reinterpreted and updated the law, bringing back its original but lost loving intent and context. Bakit dumating si Jesus? To reinterpret the law, to update it, to void its very cruel and very uncontextual applications na nung panahon niya, lipas na yung konteksto nung panahon na ibinigay originally ang marami sa mga laws na ito. So, ibinalik ni Jesus yung nawalang timpla, yung nawalang flavor ng law, the love. That the main reason for the law was to love. But it was in the context of the primitive history of Israel, their primitive culture, and then the developing culture of as a nation. Pero ngayon, iba na ang panahon. 1,000 taon na rin ang dumaan. At ang marami sa mga laws na ng Israel, nung unang panahon ng kanilang mga ninuno, hindi na applicable kahit nung panahon ni Jesus sa mga Jews mismo. So, Jesus reinterpreted. Ibinalik niya yung nawalang flavor that the law was really given to promote love, and to promote peace. Nung araw, to promote peace, they had to have harsh rules that governed the tribe, the families, because they were living in very dangerous times and the nation was not yet stable. But times had changed. At ang nangyari sa religion ng Israel, sobrang naging authoritative ang kanilang religious leaders at naging very unfeeling, very unkind ang interpretation nila and application of the law, na kahit magdusa ka, mamatay ka, babatayin ka hanggang mamatay, pag na-break mo yung law, the law rules supreme. But Jesus came to reinterpret and bring it back to its loving content and context. Mark 12:28-34. Nakita niyang mahusay ang pagkasagot ni Jesus sa mga Saduceo, kaya siya naman ang lumapit upang magtanong, alin po ang pinakamahalagang utos? So, napakarami kasing utos sa Israel, 10 Commandments, 613 other minor commandments called misvots. Sabi niya, alin po ang pinakamahalagang utos? Sumagot si Jesus, ibigin mo ang Panginoon mong Diyos ng buong puso mo, buong kaluluwa mo, buong pag-iisip mo, at buong lakas mo. Ibigin mo ang iyong kapwa gaya ng pag-ibig mo sa iyong sarili. So para kay Jesus, sinabi niya, yan ang spirit ng law, yan ang essence ng law, yan ang dahilan kung bakit may law, at yan dapat ang paraan ng pag-i-implement ng law. Ano yon? Ibigin mo ang Diyos at ibigin mo ang iyong kapwa tulad ng pag-ibig mo sa iyong sarili. That would be the correct way to read, to interpret, and apply the law. Jesus filtered the law through God's love that was newly revealed in Him, filtering out or destroying the unloving, unkind, harsh, cruel, and violent elements of Israel's religious system. Sinala ni Jesus ang law. Kasi napaka-unloving na, napaka-cruel na, napaka-impersonal na, hindi na ginagawa yung original intent to love people and to promote love among the people, to promote peace and order. Nagkakaroon na ng sobrang gulo. Interpersonal troubles. At ngayon ay nagkakaroon ng social divide among the religious elite and the people. So, mulit-muli, ipinahayag ng Ama sa Langit ang kanyang pag-ibig sa pamamagitan ng pagpapadala, pagsusugo kay Jesus para ipakita ni Jesus ang tamang pagbasa ng law, ang tamang pag-interpret ito at pag-apply. At maraming aspects of the Jewish law ang ginanon ni Jesus. Sinala, finilter, nire-interpret, at nire-apply. An example of how Jesus fulfilled the law is how He fulfilled the Sabbath. Remember, sabi ni Jesus, I came to fulfill the law. How did He fulfill the law of the Sabbath? Let's take a look at the law. Exodus 20 verse 10. Sa araw na ito'y huwag magtrabaho ang sino man sa inyo. Kayo, ang inyong mga anak, mga aliping lalaki o babae, ang inyong mga alagang hayop, ni ang mga dayuhang nakikipamayan sa inyo. So ang utos, ang law, walang magtatrabaho pag Sabbath, pag Sabado. Tapos ang nangyari, meron ng mga nahuhuling namumulot ng kahoy, Sabbath, papatayin. Dahil sabi daw ng Diyos, papatayin yan. Dahil binibreak niya ang law of the Sabbath. Tapos, ang dami-dami mga nagdurusa, hindi nila tinutulungan pag-araw ng Sabbath. The fulfillment by the teachers of the law and the Pharisees was literal and legalistic. Walang tinitingnan, walang sinisinong sitwasyon o konteksto ng tao. Nahuli ka nangangalo niya, wala silang pake kung namamatay ka na sa gutom ko la, kaya ginagawa mo yun, o kung ano man ang nagsadlak sa'yo sa ganung uri ng buhay, basta't babatuhin ka hanggang mamatay. Pero alam natin na hindi ipinabato ni Jesus yung babaeng gusto nilang batuhin dahil yun ang sabi ng law. How is the fulfillment of the law by Jesus? It was essential, meaning loving and kind. Kung ano yung mas mabait, kung ano yung mas mabuti, mas banayad na pag-interpret ng law at pag-apply nito, yun ang Jesus way. Yun ang Jesusness. Matthew 12:1-7. Isang araw ng pamamahinga, dumaan sina Jesus sa triguhan. Nagugutom ang kanyang mga alagad noon, kaya't sila'y kumuha ng mga butil ng trigo at kumain yun. Nang makita ito ng mga Pariseo, sinabi nila sa kanya, tingnan mo ang ginagawa ng iyong mga alagad. Mahigpit yung pinagbabawal ng kautusan sa araw ng pamamahinga. So nagugutom yung mga alagad ni Jesus, araw ng pamamahinga, namulot sila na makakain nila, pumitas-pitas sila, pero napansin yun ng mga Pharisees at sinabi nila, bawal mamitas, bawal mamulot ng pagkain, bawal gumawa ng kahit ano kasi Sabbath ngayon. Wala kaming pakialam kung gutom kayo. Sumagot si Jesus, hindi ba ninyo nabasa ang ginawa ni David nang magutom siya at ang kanyang mga kasama? Pumasok siya sa bahay ng Diyos, kumain ng tinapay na handog, at pinakain din niya ang kanyang mga kasama. Labag sa kautosan ang ginawa nila sapagkat ang mga pari lamang ang may karapatang kumain yon. Sinasabi ko sa inyo, may isang naririto na higit na dakila kaysa sa templo. So, para kay Jesus, eating when hungry is greater than obeying the law of the Sabbath. Love, kindness is greater than the temple and the law. Kung magiging maibigin ang gagawin mo, yun ay higit na matimbang kaysa sa pagsunod mo sa law without love and in an unloving way. Matthew 22:36-40, Guro, alin po ang pinakamahalagang utos sa kautosan? Tanong niya. Sumagot si Jesus, tulad ng ating binasa kanina, ibigin mo ang Panginoon mong Diyos ng buong puso mo, buong kaluluwa mo, at buong pag-iisip mo. Ibigin mo ang iyong kapwa gaya ng pag-ibig mo sa iyong sarili. Sa dalawang utos na ito nakasalalay ang buong kautosan ni Moises at ang katuruan ng mga propeta. So, nung tinanong si Jesus kung alin ang pinakadakilang utos, sabi niya, mahalin mo ang Diyos at mahalin mo ang iyong kapwa tulad ng pagmamahal mo sa iyong sarili. Ang lahat ng kautosan ni Moises, ang lahat ng katuruan ng mga propeta, dapat dito sukatin. Ito ang paraan ng pag-implement. Dapat salain dito. So pag ang implementation niyan, hindi pag-ibig sa Diyos, hindi pag-ibig sa kapwa, hindi papasa sa Jesus filter. 1 Corinthians 13:13, faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. Diba, faith moves mountains? Pero sabi ni Paul, love is still greater than faith. Baliwala ang dami mong faith, hindi ka naman loving. Baliwala ang dami mong sacrifices, hindi ka naman loving. Baliwala, napaka-religyoso mo, hindi ka naman loving. Mark 2:27-28. Then he said to them, the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. This is very, very, very revolutionary. Yung mga nagpipilit na pasunurin ang kapwa sa mga law ng ancient Israel, dahil sabi daw ni Jesus, I came to fulfill the law. Anong fulfillment ang ginawa ni Jesus? Hindi literal. Hindi yung paraan ng pag-fulfill ng mga Pharisees. Kasi sabi ni Jesus, Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. But remember, the Jews were going to kill you if you broke the law of the Sabbath. Sa kanila, man was made for the Sabbath. Man is to serve the Sabbath. Pero kay Jesus, no, Sabbath was given by God for man's use, for man's rest. Pero kung minsan, yung pagsunod at pagpipilit na sumunod sa Sabbath, isa ng trabaho, nakakapagod na mismo yun lang pagsunod sa Sabbath. Kaya sabi niya, kung nakakapagod, kung nakakapigil sa paggawa ng mabuti, kung nakakahadlang sa kapayapaan, katahimikan, kaligayahan ng tao, well, edi huwag sundin. Ang sundin ay yung loving application kung ano ang mabuti para sa'yo. So, makakabuti para sa'yo na huwag magtrabaho sa Sabbath? Opo, kasi pagod ako, edi huwag ka magtrabaho. Pero makakabuti ba sa'yo na huwag akong magtrabaho sa Sabbath? May kailangan ka, hindi kita tutulungan dahil Sabbath? Aba, hindi pumabuti sa akin yan. Hindi dapat ganyan ang application ng law. Because the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. Hindi pwedeng ipilit na ang ibig sabihin ni Jesus na I came to fulfill the law is to fulfill all the laws of ancient Israel in the same way that they wanted it fulfilled. The need of man, according to Jesus, is more important than the observance of the Sabbath. Now, that is so different from the way the Jews would fulfill the law. At sa pagpapatuloy na ating binabasang verses, so the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath. To love people, Jesus lords it over the Sabbath and puts the Sabbath at the disposal of man. Sobrang kakaiba yan na paraan ng pag-fulfill ng law. Jesus employs the Sabbath at the service of people in the name of love, to feed, to heal, to love. This is how Jesus fulfilled the law. Not in the usual, traditional way, but in His revolutionary, loving way. Ano ang application niyan sa buhay natin, mga kapatid? This is the same way Jesus believers are to fulfill and implement the law. Hindi tayo dapat mag-apply ng Jewish law the same way the teachers of the law and Pharisees applied them. Kahit na unkind, kahit na cruel, kahit na violent, gagawin pa rin nila. Pero sabi ni Jesus, no. Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. Ang lahat ng mga batas na yan, isa lang ang goal, to love, to be loving. Ngayon, kung magiging literal ka sa pag-apply, tapos magiging unloving ka na, cruel ka na, unkind ka na, hindi yun ang Jesus way to interpret and apply and fulfill the law. Hindi yung mag-aalok tayo ng salvation by grace sa mga tao, pagkatapos natanggapin nila yon at nag-join sila sa atin, we all backslide to the law. Sasabihin natin, salvation is by grace, not by works. At nung tumanggap na, member mo na, sasabihin na, ay, maraming laws, maraming works na dapat gawin, di backsliding yon to the law. Balik sa maraming bawal, balik sa pagpulis, kung sinusunod nila mga bawal, balik sa paglilitis ng mga hindi nakakasunod sa law, at paghatol, at paghusga. At balik sa pagtitiwalag doon sa mga talagang nahuhusgahan na hindi karapat-dapat na sumali sa isang kapatiran. Ano ang bunga ng Pharisaic fulfillment of the law? Ano ang bunga sa buhay ng mga mananampalataya na malapariseo ang pag-interpret at pagbasa at pagpapairal sa law? Nakakapagod na religiosity. Nakakapagpatigas ng puso na religiosity. Nakakapagpalupit na religiosity. Kaya hindi unusual na makakita tayo ng mga tao na mula nung naging sobrang dedicated to the law, to the Jewish law, to the teachings of the teachers of the law and Moses, at ng mga teachings ng mga Pharisees, nagkakasira-sira magkakaibigan. Nawawala ng good manners. Minsan nagkakaroon ng very unethical ways of dealing with each other. Kasi para bang, in the name of the law, I am entitled to hurt lawbreakers. I am entitled not to be kind and to be good. That is not the Jesus way. So Jesus believers and followers, what do we do with the Jewish law? Screen the law. Screen the interpretation and application of the law through the love of God revealed in Jesus. Through the teaching and example of Jesus. Through the Jesus filter. At lagi nating ipinapakita ang simplified illustration na ang lahat ng doktrina, katuruan, mga tradisyon, mga laws, mga regulations dapat salain sa Jesusness. Papasaba. Tulad nung batuhin ang babaeng nangangalo niya, batuhin hanggang mamatay. Nung pinadaan sa Jesus filter, hindi ipinabato ni Jesus. Napaka-cruel, napaka-unkind nung implementation at fulfillment na yon. So, huwag nating ipilit that when Jesus said He fulfilled the law, He came to fulfill the law, tulad yun ng pag-fulfill ng mga Pharisees. No. Very, very different. At i-apply natin ito sa iba't ibang laws, sa iba't ibang religious regulations. Ano ang gagawin ni Jesus kung ipapasala sa Kanya yung iba nating maraming mga religious regulations, yung marami nating pag-i-implement? In Jesus, ang unloving, unkind, harsh, cruel and violent elements of the law and its implementation ay destroyed na, expired na. Huwag natin ipagpilitan kasi parang binabaliwala natin ang sakripisyo, kamatayan at pagkabuhay na muli ni Jesus. Christ gave His own body to destroy the law of Moses with all its rules and commands. Yan ang i-emphasize ng Ephesians 2:14-15. Jesus saves from the law, from the power of the law, from the punishment by the law, and from the guilt caused by the law, by destroying the law, by voiding the law, by rendering it outdated. In this way, Jesus saves. Jesus gives rest and peace. Kasi kung talagang i-implement natin ang lahat ng ancient Israel's laws sa buhay natin ngayon, you can never have peace. Because you will always break one or many. It's impossible to obey all. You will always break some laws, therefore you will always be guilty, you will always be afraid of punishment, and those who are Pharisaic in their attitude will judge you, will hurt you, and will shun you. Pero sabi ni Jesus sa John 8:36, so if the Son sets you free, from the law yun, ha? So if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. Bakit maraming mga tinatawag ng sarili nilang Kristiyano, namumuhay sila under the law, as if Jesus did not happen, as if Jesus did not destroy the law, as if Jesus did not set them free from the law. Confused ang kanilang pagtanaw sa law and grace, sa Mosesness and Jesusness. Those who believe in Jesus, those who follow Jesus, had been freed from the law. Galatians 5:1, it is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm then, and do not let yourselves be burdened again by a yoke of slavery. Yoke of slavery kasi ang mga law. Yung covenant between Yahweh and the people of Israel, ano ba ang sinasabi sa Exodus 20 verse 1? Sabi, I am the God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. Therefore, we have a deal. We have a covenant. This is what you will do for me. These are my commands. Sino ang binigyan nun? The ancient Israelites who were slaves in Egypt, who were freed by Yahweh. Ngayon, ikaw, kasali ka ba sa pinalaya mula sa Ehipto? Kasama ba doon ang mga ninuno mo? Were you part of that slavery? Had you been freed from that slavery? Hindi ka kasali doon, so bakit mo ngayon ipapataw sa iyong sarili ang lahat ng mga commands na ibinigay sa ancient Israelites? Those commands, those laws, the covenant was given to them in exchange for Yahweh setting them free from Egypt. Ngayon, yung mga Kristiyano, lalo yung mga Gentile Christians nung panahon ng Book of Acts, hindi na sila dapat kasama sa Jewish law. Naniwala sila kay Jesus, dapat betcha na ang correspondence nila with Jesus. Pero yung mga Jewish Christians, some of them called Judaizers, some of them called the circumcision group, because they were insisting that even the Gentiles who were not under the law to be circumcised, ini-insist nila magpa-circumcise din. Therefore, sila na mga Hudyo who were under the law, who could not obey the law, now were imposing the same law to Gentile Christians who were not even under the covenant, under the law. Kaya sabi ni Peter, why are you making God angry? Why are you testing God? By putting on the shoulders of these Gentiles all the burdens of our laws, which we, the Jews, were not even able to obey ourselves. So pinahirapan nila ang mga sarili nila sa pagsunod sa mga laws because of the rigid Pharisaic interpretation. Tapos ngayon yung mga Gentile who were not even under the law, under covenant, isasali pa nila nung naging Christian. And this is one of the most interesting parts, twists and turns ng Christian history. Nung ang mga Judaizers, mga Jewish by culture and history ay naging Christian na niwala kay Jesus,